Welcome back to Women Empowerment Wednesday. So today our guest is Miss GInell. I had the pleasure of meeting GInell through a Facebook group, and I'm happy that we did because she actually is local to where I'm at. So I'm excited to have made this connection. But GInell has a huge background in education, and we're going to touch on that. But just everything that she's doing and everything that she's going to continue to do in order to make the education system a better place for our little kiddos is going to be game changing. Like, I'm here for it. But GInell, can you just introduce yourself? Just share a little bit about who you are today as a woman, a mother, and an advocate for the kiddos.
Today, I consider myself still an educator, always first. I always say
Mm.
that because I wouldn't be where I am right now for the education that I had. And that was a switcheroo too for me because I went into school in 2014, and it was for film and media arts and psychology. So I still had that SEL kind of aspect. I wanted to know why people did things the way they did. I want to understand the
Hmm.
brain, kind of those patterns. But film and media, man, I was all about like editing. I was all about, so
Okay.
doing the podcast that I have right now and working on this docu-series is something I've always dreamt of because I've always loved documentaries.
Mhm.
When I was a teenager, I just like I would leave feeling like a way like, oh my gosh, this is injustice, this is wrong, and feeling like, dang, I can't do nothing. But man, I
Yeah.
feel some way about it. I can't believe now I know this. So from a young age, it was kind of like all these little moments that led me up to me being a mom who I am now. And the big thing
Mhm.
that kind of led me away from that is I think just the generational cycles, the patterns, the neglect, the things that was passed on from generation to generation to generation that I
Mhm.
started to realize was happening in my own life, even though I had swore that it was not going to happen because I was checking
Exactly.
all the boxes. So when I had my daughter, it was like, wow, this is the opposite of what I expected.
Mhm.
I'm not just saying like a little bit, like, oh, like
Yeah.
20%, like I didn't get what I want. Like I'm saying like 100% was like the opposite and the exact same situation, if not worse, than the person before me and the person before me and the person before. And it was like,
Yeah.
bro. So I had to look at myself. That's when I had to look
Yeah.
at myself and look at all the external things. And that's what my whole project, my brand of the Soul Reconstruction Project is like breaking those bonds and going into something sovereign so that, but to take it a stretch further, like a lot of us are barely even wanting to fix ourselves for ourselves. But
Mhm.
now you have kids and you're a role model whether you have kids or not. So
Yes.
it's like it's becoming a thing where it's creating injustice and ruptures in everyone's life. And I feel
Mhm.
like in particular right now, and I think we had some correlation to 2020 and stuff, but I was pregnant in 2020 and I had her
Right.
in 2021, and they say about those COVID babies and stuff. But even meeting my ex during COVID was a totally different experience. And now dealing with post separation abuse after that, all of the things I've learned as an educator, as a public speaker, as someone who's
Mhm.
making SEL and wants to be a counselor and help these kids so they're not growing up to be in these same having to fix themselves, make all the mistakes for years and years, because I'm talking to
Yeah.
people that have been making mistakes or just having that switch, like, have I really been following what I want for decades?
Right.
And so I'm trying to help kids not even get to that point or to look into themselves, because our educators are
Yeah.
trying to do it, but our educators are tired. Our educators have
Yes.
rules. Our educators have, guidelines they have to follow. That's why I
Yep.
haven't stayed at a lot of the institutions. It's because, oh, I'm not doing things the way that it's in the book. And it's like, but our kids need this. This isn't hurting them.
Exactly.
I'm not doing anything bad. So even that discord that people are feeling right now, whether they're losing a job or they're just feeling discord from their job, and the feeling of like, okay, am I really going to stay here or could I be gone tomorrow, is
Mhm.
like hitting people. And that comes with security and feeling at peace with yourself. So I think I just have
Right.
come to who I am today. My daughter, we were just saying it was picture day, and she's going to be
Mhm.
in kindergarten next year. She's so young, and I'm very lucky to have gotten out of that situation and had
Yeah.
this illuminating enlightenment of whatever you want to call it so early, because in any age it is affects in different ways. And I just feel like my expertise in I've worked from little babies and moved all the way up to high school and then came back
Oh, yeah.
came back and
Back.
went back to fifth grade. And that was really that point where, middle school to fifth grade is a jump, and
Mm-hmm.
their bodies and their external environments with their intaking and social media and
Yep.
all the above, teenagers, it's puberty, all of that. And it was like, wow, there are kids that don't have their parents to fall back on, or we made a big point to be like, man, I'm here with you guys more than I am, with some of my closest blood relatives. And we're
Yep.
like, yeah, we're family, but they couldn't work together. They were all struggling. So they were struggling outwardly by connecting, not being able to connect with each other. And I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
this is like the most precious thing. If I'm thinking about how much time you're spending at home and here, it's
Yeah.
the most precious time. So I felt really starting to feel really unfulfilled being inside the walls with the 10-year-olds, not doing something that I know that I have the ability to do. And I guess
Right.
it wasn't doing my purpose. So that is where I'm at right now. As far as like my podcast, I'm still looking for, working in the schools and talking and getting those workshops out. And I want to
Yeah.
write books. And so like all of this is like all coming to me, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I wish I had prepared. I wish I had taken more time, but I was so tired. When as an
Yeah.
educator, you're doing
It's a
work at
lot.
school and you're doing work at home. I didn't even have
Mm-hmm.
time. And then don't get me started, when I was with my ex, I had no time to be creative. I didn't even feel creative. Like
Yeah.
my inner child was dormant. So all this work that I'm doing right now is so intense, and I love meeting everyone that I'm meeting because, one, I've been in solitude. I've been purging away. Oh, I didn't get to
Mm-hmm.
mention like this framework that I've been able to come up with just from a simple question of like, where do you want, how do you want your audience to feel
Yeah.
after you have like a workshop or something? So my RIP framework is like that resilience through recognizing what you've been through, what your past has been through. And then the I is illumination through identifying those things. And
Mm-hmm.
okay, I brought this back with me to my adult life because I was so used to it in my childhood. I was so used
Right.
to asking this. And being a Black woman, I'm used to, we're masking secrets. We're masking who we are to just keep each other alive. That was like a
Yep.
literal thing that our generations had to do. So it followed us. It was rooted in us in some way, if you want to say it like
Yeah.
that. I'm big about hair care with my YouTube video, my YouTube section. I've got the Kinsey's Corner. I've got the care
Okay.
for my hair, and that care for my hair connects to like our soul, like our crown on our head. Just how we take care
Mm-hmm.
of our hair, we need to take care of ourselves, kind of like that mind, body, soul type of attitude that
It's all together.
kids can totally fathom. Like they can. Like,
Yep.
why are we not teaching this in school? Where else are they learning it? Where are adults learning it if they're not seeking it out themselves? So it's like,
Yep.
if we're gonna make all these other things like science, math, and those are things are important, but if we're not gonna fit in like the actual, we have to wait until a kid is so bad that he needs to get help with the one counselor in the school. Let me just pause.
Heavy on the one counselor in the school.
That's
Heavy on
not
the one
that's not
counselor in the
helpful.
school.
That's not
Like,
helpful. Sorry. Well, I know we're gonna have some more episodes talking about the school system and the students and all of
girl.
that, but that is where I'm at. Like I came to a point where I was not asked to come back to a school, and it was a
Mhm.
school that was a dream of mine to go back to and help and be, because it was the school I went to. But
Yeah.
then I was like, actually, I have been thinking about venturing off and doing this. I have been thinking, and then lo and behold, I meet a bunch of people through my daughter, making friends at the park or
Hmm.
making friends at places, and them being like, don't wait. Like, what are you waiting for?
Do
Like,
it now.
do
We
it
need
now,
you
because I
now.
did it now. Like, we need people like you. And I was even telling friends, like, I know, like, I'm not supposed to just be talking to the people that I'm talking to. I'm supposed to be
Right.
talking to a wider spread of people to spread this word. So
And you
uh,
on your way.
the last P, the two P's, and I kind of split them up. Like the R and the I is kind of like your old identity, and sorting through that, because it is a puzzle. It is
Yeah.
like, okay, what do I want to get? I think about my daughter Kinsey trying to figure out a piece and turn it around to fit it in there, and it's like some of them actually, that piece don't even go to this puzzle no more. We are
Yeah.
shaping ourselves, and the P is the purge, the purging part of getting rid of things that don't serve you, whether it's thoughts, self, being negative to yourself, not
Yeah.
taking care of yourself, not drinking water. When we talking about that, drinking water, taking care of your body, and all those things. If you're not doing stuff for yourself, what doesn't need to be there, what is
Exactly.
contributing to you in a negative way to your life. And the last thing is the peace in the program, peace in like this is it's a new you. I want to say like you feel like you're another robot or something, but you're
Yeah.
yourself. It's your I feel very open to my inner child now, and looking at myself and being like, this is something that younger GInell was really striving to do. And before,
Hmm.
when I was a teacher, it didn't even seem like a possibility.
Right. And so what I loved about everything, because I was trying to take like mental notes. I was trying because usually I'll be writing something. I'm like, dang, GInell hitting on that. She hitting on that. But the moral of the story is I am so appreciative and happy what you're doing because like we had talked about on your podcast when I did the interview, childhood stuff is huge, and teachers and things like that, when y'all speak in life into us, like that stuff carries us throughout our entire life. Shout
Yeah.
out to Miss Allen, Mr. Noble, but you know what I'm saying, like stuff like that. So it's important that you have realized the not the wrongdoings, but almost like the wrongdoing, not the right way to do
Yeah.
different things is the better way to put it. But and trying to fix that for the youth, so again, like you said, they don't go through the stupid stuff that we went through. They don't have to go through years of unlearning once they realize that it was an issue. You're trying to like get it head on, like, okay, let's fix this now. While you're still young, before you become an adult, let's fix it. And I
Proactive.
absolutely love it. Exactly. Instead of being reactive with everything. And like you said, heavy on the one counselor in the school. Like, I don't know if I told you, but I have a best friend. She's in Connecticut. She's a social worker, grades 1 through 8. She's the only social worker there. And there's a bunch of kids like with autism and stuff like that. And so like she can't do her job as far as like meeting with
Can't
them.
do her
She's always
job
doing these meetings and paperwork. And so it's frustrating and it's not fulfilling to her because she can't even meet with the kids the way that she wants to. So heavy on that, and just educational. So like y'all are tired. Y'all don't get paid enough to deal with all these kids, these
That's
different
another reason
personalities.
that pushed me out of that too. Is like, well, I'm still
Yeah.
living paycheck to paycheck. I thought when I got my master's, it was gonna be do 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 do
And
do
you
do.
are
Like,
literally saving the world. Like if you are literally, y'all have one of the most important jobs in the world to train up. But again, like you said, y'all met with all these different stipulations. You can't say this, you can't do that. They taking this out of school. So it's like you can't even teach them to be functioning human beings. You're just teaching them again to be robots to basically work in the jail system. But like you said, we gonna talk about that in another segment because that's
mm-mm.
a lot to hit on in itself. But thank you for being you. Thank you for doing what you're doing. And again, trying to be proactive with the kiddos and the adults too. You about to be game changer. You about to be in these schools doing mentorship programs. You about to have an online classroom. GInell, I see it. I see. Look,
I know
I
how that
see
stuff
it.
works too. I'm so good with technology. Like everything that I do,
Yes,
I feel like I always felt like I'm an octopus with a bunch of hands, a bunch of talents and
girl.
stuff.
Yes.
Now it's like the big head is on right. So like, you know how they twist in Toy Story, like
Yep.
it's on straight.
I
And
thought
now
about the Wiz, how his the big old head floating and he just all over the place. Like for real. But it's like it's people like us, and when it's put on our heart to walk into our purpose, again, it's so much. We're inundated with so much, but we're doing something to make the world a better place. And I think that's what's most important.
And the most important thing, because there's a lot of people like us, is to give yourself grace. Because just as
Yep.
much I feel like I have tentacles, I feel like that in other parts of my life, as far as my environment and other things I have to
Yep.
deal with, dealing with post-separation abuse and co-parenting, which in court, and like those are things I also feel like I can have a really good voice in, and I want to get out things. And so it's just a lot of
Yes.
writing, a lot of isolation, a lot of like compartmentalizing so many things that feel off. So like giving yourself like some grace when you're feeling like really out of whack, because it's gonna happen.
Exactly. Okay, well, thank you for that. So, okay, so the first question is going to be when you hear the phrase generational cycles, you talked about this a little bit, but what does that mean to you personally?
They are, when I hear, at least when I just listen to cycle, but generational cycles, it is
Hmm.
something that is passed down that sometimes is noticed, but or
Hmm.
unnoticed through parents, your parents'
Right.
parents, your great great parents, and just generations of the time period. And like we are not that far away from slavery and still dealing with those kinds. So even that kind of like their personality. there's a personality
Yeah.
also trait, because I've been told that and I've noticed it in other family members. So it's, when I think about the cycles, it's like something that I think about, a cycle in a laundry that just keeps going and going and going until
Right.
somebody presses the button and like stops it.
Stop.
So if this, I feel like cycle, when I think of generational cycles, I think about it in a negative way, like something that has
Yeah.
negatively impacted someone's way of living or way of life or character in a way.
Yep. So, what specific dynamics or patterns did you notice within your family that you were like, okay, these are cycles?
One, not being able to forgive, but
Okay.
also hate, just hate and anger, that all combined brings a lot of mixed feelings towards how relationships should be within a family
Yeah.
dynamic, and it really tarnished. But I obviously know that's how it was back in the day also.
Right.
I can also think about, my grandmother and my grandmother's grandmother, and I can ask and know, like, wow, like, actually I can recognize our
Hmm.
why they did this. And I just did an episode with Dayshow Parker that'll be out soon too. She we
Okay.
talk
Shout out
about
to this show.
we talk about that, like, the I lost track because I started thinking about some Louisiana, like, back story. I'm thinking about, putting myself in their shoes. Yes, recognizing, putting myself in their shoes initially,
Right.
and being like, okay, I can understand why this happened and this happened and this happened and this happened and this time. And then now I'm like sitting in it and I'm like, oh, dang, did I do that too? And it's kind of
Right.
stuff that goes on in your subconscious that you
Hmm.
don't notice. And I feel like I just was able to, once I was able to recognize that, it wasn't even, I recognized it and still did some of the choices that I did. It
Right.
was
Right.
until I had my daughter, and I don't want people to wait
Okay.
until they have kids to have this switcheroo in their life, because it's
Right.
not a good time to be, you should be focused on motherhood. I feel like I've missed a lot out on what I expected motherhood to be, my pregnancy and all of that. So
Yeah.
that's a whole other thing. But did I answer part of your question?
You did. You did. We went down memory lane,
Once I
but
got
I got you. I got you. So we know that breaking them cycles are very powerful, but it's also very, very hard, y'all. This is not something, again, that we talking about that you just wake up one day and say, okay, you can make the decision not to do it anymore, but it's a process, especially if you've fallen in the cycle where now you're doing something. And then like GInell said, like we sit up, we wake up like, dang, am I doing what I said I wasn't going to do? So it's going to take like time to like heal and just unlearn those dynamics, right? So, what did that process look like for you, GInell? If you want to give people some tips.
Oh, that process. Well, that one where you when you said when you just wake up, I'm thinking waking up next to a person where you're like,
Mm,
am I on task for what I said I was
right,
gonna do? But that
right,
process, look, sometimes I'll first say that process sometimes is out of your hands. Sometimes things just
yeah.
happen that God just strikes, like, you're not gonna do it now, then bam. And
I'm gonna do it
yes,
for you, and
so
that's
yeah,
it.
like, for me personally, the way I left was, I didn't know I was leaving that day. I didn't know I was moving out all my stuff that day. Had no
Yeah.
idea. Was just waking up to do my oil change on my great car that I'm so grateful for. Still here with me.
Hey, God is
But
good.
no, sometimes you do not. You're just sometimes just not planned. So
Yeah.
sometimes those things are just lightning moments where at the time it's really hurt and you're like really faced at a crossroads, but the
Hmm.
right decision's like really in front of you. It's
Exactly.
made for you in a sense. But also for me, it looked like going back to work. Going back
Hmm.
to, I'm a single mother now. I got to start making money. Like, regardless
Right.
of how I feel about the situation, you got to work, work, work. So that was another cycle of what we always did. Obviously, slavery. Like, that was
Yep.
what we work from sun and down to
Sun
sun,
up to sun. Yep.
making nothing. And that was what I was doing. But I love teaching. I love being around children. And
Hmm.
even coming from the film and media arts background, that was kind of cutthroat and go into this la la la, like it felt wonderful. And I
I
was like,
love you. Cue the Barney song.
that's me, the one singing and doing yoga, and like, oh my god,
Hmm.
I was in my element. And but
Yeah.
fast forward to now, I want to be doing those things on my YouTube. I want
Yeah.
everyone to be doing that, because that's not happening in people's classrooms. It's just not. And I had kids not knowing what meditation was, and that, I guess, if you look at it in a broad sense, I guess that's not too weird, but it's a problem. And so why are not people recognizing this? Why is this not in the school system? Why are we taking funds away from the school system? I mean,
Even like breath work. If you have the kids sit for like 5 minutes and
we
just
made
breathe.
breathing beads. If you're gonna make some friendship
Oh,
bracelets, you got time to make breathing beads.
what are those? I've never heard of that before.
Oh man, I wish I had them, but my daughter uses them as people to play with. But you
Oh,
make like a string of beads and you tie it in a certain way where when you pull it, it kind of, you have to pull it in a certain way, but rather how long you have it, that's how long you want the breath to be. If you want to
okay.
do short breaths, you have a shorter
Oh
one. You
my
want a long
gosh. And
one,
see, that's
different
something
space.
simple that you could do
So
in the
simple.
schools.
My daughter has a meditation like bottle where it's like all
Okay.
glittery and stuff, but like she
Yeah.
shakes it. If she's feeling upset, she
And
shakes it, and then you sit it down and you just watch it. Something that was so simple, something as
something
simple as
so
that for
simple
someone. And
that
she
can
was
help a
3,
kid with
she's 4.
ADHD. You know what I'm saying? Or a kid
Why are
from
we
having an
doing
anxiety
fidget
attack.
spinners? That's great. But in the classroom, where are those? In a bin in the teacher's drawer, because the kids have distracted everyone in the classroom with their freaking ding dong digits.
Ding.
Okay.
And then that's me. I used to do those in meetings because I used to get so like irritated as a grown person. So I had my
As
little
an
fidget
adult,
spinner.
I feel like adults should
Just
be
spin
having
it.
those a lot more, because they know how to use it. They know how to be able to. Well, we want to
Keep it
also be able
quiet.
to teach kids to be able to, hey, if you really, because I would really try, I would give a kid another chance. Like, okay, Billy, I'm going to give you another chance. I know that you need this. I know that it will help you focus, but right now
Yep.
it's not helping you focus. So if I see it again, like, you give them that chance, but you know how much time that's taken out. And sometimes when you take it the second time, then you got a kid crashing out, a kid that
Yep.
don't know how to regulate their emotions, man. And then you end up
It's a
not
lot.
teaching most of the day. If all the
Yep.
kids are unregulated, if one kid is destroying the class, for like, how do you do this? How?
You
And
can't.
then we have, whoever comes in and watches your class for 30 minutes 3 times a year to judge whether you should
On
come
that
back or
one
not.
specific, which is crazy. A kid could have it be like you said, crashing out, and that's the worst day ever for them to be sitting in a corner taking their notes.
No, I got pointed out because he was sitting in the corner. You don't think I try to let this kid sit with our class? Don't you understand? I'm not even going to talk about
Girl, I don't want you to have
it.
flashbacks. Okay, let's get back
But
because it's
that's the
intense.
thing is, that's happening in so many more classrooms than we can
Oh,
imagine. So many more classrooms.
sad. It's
And
just
I'm like,
sad. Just
dang, and these teachers are getting older and older, and they're trying to hold out so they can get their money. But they
get their
die.
retirement.
They die. I had the pleasure of still working
But they
beside
done.
my third and fourth and fifth grade teacher. Same, like,
Are
in
you
this,
serious?
it was
I
so
want
great. I literally remember when I first started working there, literally going to work. You know how like those movies, they go to
yeah.
work and they're all happy. I was
All
literally
happy.
so happy. I was so happy to work there, even though I was going through all my stuff and I was a single parent.
Yeah.
Like, this is the job I've always wanted. This is just this, out of everything that's had to been
Oh,
erased off my check mark. Like, this is it
that's it.
matters. If I had to go through everything to be, and then to 2 years later to just kind of have like just so much happen, so much.
Yeah.
2, 3 years later, I was like, now I
You
see.
know
Now
what?
everything, every bump, every stair that I went up was part of a real
Getting
purpose.
you here.
Yes.
You have to go through it in order to speak on it. And I'm a firm believer of that. Because or else we hypocrites just reading a couple chat GBT, reading off Google how to tell someone how to do something. But when you live it and it's a lived experience, it's coming from the heart. It's coming from the heart and it's coming from the mind.
And that's why I want a lot of people. A lot of people are not living from their hearts. A lot of people
No.
are heartbroken and aren't able to. I'm still trying to process things that happened to me.
Yeah.
So it's things that it's hard literally,
Very.
and just hard to do, and it takes actual work, and that's why I always say I'm going to preach for people to get professional help, because
Yep.
one, out there and it's very helpful. But if you can't do that, or you're not willing to do that right now, then there are other ways like journaling. There are
Mm-hmm.
ways like actually sitting down and meditating, and thinking about, and meditation is supposed to be about thinking about nothing, but uh,
Yeah.
also having the time to think about, where am I? How do I feel? What am I with my life? Well, what I do
Right.
every day, am I at peace with that?
Right.
And if you're not, obviously when you wake up from your meditation or your yoga session or your dance session, it's still not going to go away. So
Nope.
we, a lot of us just keep going through life like, well, I got to make money, I got
Doo
to do
doo
this, I gotta do
doo.
this. And but that now you're starting to feel real down and out, and you're like, man, why? I'm doing the same stuff.
Right. But that's when that function and depression comes in that I feel like I suffer from because again, we get so caught up in going day to day. We got to go to work. We got to feed the kids. And it's like over time, it's like, damn, like you really be depressed without being depressed. But it's because you have to keep doing, you know what I'm saying? You got to keep doing it. It's just like
Yeah.
when y'all sit back and
Stop.
reflect, every it's crazy on how much you really think about like just your day-to-day life, how you your thought process, how you function. Are you happy? Like these are questions you got to ask yourself, but you'll only get that clarity in silence. Like you got to be silent and you just got to sit with your thoughts. And that's something I feel like a lot of people don't want to do because they probably scared of what Pandora box is going to open because they don't want to sit with their thoughts. But in order to grow, you have to. You got to talk to that inner child. You got to
Yeah.
see, like, yo, this happened 20 years ago, 30 years ago. I'm sorry. You know what I'm saying? And kind of move forward and take your inner child with you. Like you have to, or it's
Yeah.
not going to work.
A
Like
lot
it's
of us
not
are
going to work
stagnant. We're just
because
stagnant
we're
right
scared. We don't want to go back because it's a lot of stuff and maybe a lot of trauma and stuff that we just put behind us and we don't ever want to uncover ever
now.
again.
Yeah.
But
That was
not
the plan.
uncovering it
That
exactly.
was the
But
whole plan.
not uncovering it, you taking that trauma and passing it along to the kids, and then that's that generational cycle when we don't
Yeah.
face stuff head on. Like y'all sit and think about it. Listen to what me and Janelle saying. Rewind if you need to. Take some notes. We here for y'all, but we just letting you know through our lived experiences, you got to face it. No matter how ugly it's going to be, you have to face it.
Yeah, it is going to be ugly. One thing, when you're
Hmm.
talking, I want to mention that I've been thinking about making a guided journal. And one of the things that I don't feel like people do, that we do when we're with a psychiatrist or therapist, whatever, is kind of like that rating scale, whether you're
Yeah.
getting sleep, whether you're depressed, whether you have anxiety, those kind of things. I feel like if a lot of people took some form of that scale, which I plan
They'll be
on having
like,
part of the
dang.
scale in a children's form too,
Yeah.
that they would realize, oh,
I
I'm
don't sleep
really
enough.
off. Yeah,
I don't drink enough water. I'm not exercising besides me running after kids at work. Like, you know what I'm
and then
saying? Like,
identifying how that connects to, this is why I'm so sluggish. This is why I'm so angsty. This is why, like,
I want a signed copy of this journal. Please. We need
yes,
we need to publish it this year, 2026.
it is.
I
Oh,
need
it
a
is.
signed
We
copy
trying
for
summer.
real.
We trying summer. Because I
Yes.
need help from all different sides, but it is gonna, like, I just need more people to know this so we can help our
Yeah.
world. Because right now our world's kind of going to
A hell and a half basket.
more than it's ever been before. I'm on my toes. It's like I'm watching a TV show. Like, what do you
Yeah.
mean that happened today? Are you sure?
And think about everybody in other countries. They probably just laughing. We are the comedy show. America is the
One's
show.
joking about leaving, and it's just like, bro, you can't do that. Stop, stop with my bag. Like,
We
no,
out of here.
no, we're not doing that. Everyone's just gonna leave the states, and no, then who's gonna vote? Like, who's gonna do? Like, what do you mean? But no, even another thing that's really come up in the
Yeah.
last 2 years is that inner strength and that inner warrior spirit, that, like,
Yeah.
if you did have to be on something like Survivor, could you make it? Do you know what to do? And I'm starting to realize I don't know what to do. I don't know if I can carry my daughter on her back for that long. She gonna have to learn
For
to do
20 miles.
So she gonna have to get us the water all the way over there because he's gonna
She
be
gonna need to
fine.
learn how to carry her own backpack with the canteens and the
And I
food.
feel
Like,
like I told you a story about how she'd be like, "That's your job," and I was like, We need to change that mindset. It's
you
not my
said,
job
"Er?"
to carry your backpack."
Exactly.
Anyway, the survival instinct.
Yeah.
Because being in an abusive relationship will really do that, but also just being in that flight or fight mode also
Yeah.
with parents, family members, siblings, whatever, like that can
Yes.
also be building something that's beneficial to me now if I use it correctly.
And so then that's what I'm going to go into next. Did you ever feel resistance internally or externally from like family, friends when you started changing your life?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
And how
And
did that look?
that's literally just people telling you that that's not how people do things. What do you mean? That's not gonna work, or don't you need this and don't you need that?
Yeah.
And don't get me started on my ex. He don't give a damn. Okay, I don't give a damn. Oh, you trying to better yourself? I don't care. Like that is him having a party. So it's really, really hard if you live your life coming
Yeah.
from external opinions. That was
Okay.
that was another moment of realization when I used to like think of something or think of a job offer or think of just like anything and think about, well, what would this person think, or do you think this would be okay, or should I ask them for their opinion, or should I? It
Yeah.
became of like I didn't even ask myself. I didn't even really think about it with myself yet. I wanted to get everyone else's input and then come up with
And
it
that shapes
myself.
your identity because you're not yourself. You're who everybody else wants you to be. And like you said, it chips away with a little bit. This group over here, this group over there, this group.
And it
It's a
really
lot.
was completely chipped away with that relationship, that last
Yep.
relationship, and being a mother. That chipped away at parts that I never thought was going to be chipped away from my life. And yeah, you just, once I was like, okay, and that's part of that purge part. I think the
Yeah.
first thing I had to purge was people that were negatively affecting my mood and just
Yeah.
how I ran things. I was just like, no, like, and being outward about it, having a voice, because I felt even in that last relationship, I couldn't tell anyone what was going on because there was,
Yeah.
but then it had to be out. The way things happened for me, it had to come out. So that was another reason where I was trying to fight it, but I was at a crossroads. Like everyone's gonna know once I make
Yeah.
this.
And
Everyone's gonna
that's
know.
it.
So that's it. And that was that decision that was made for me, even though I feared and had a lot of anxiety. I
Yeah.
knew that it was, I felt at peace once I know, like, I came to probably sleeping in a different bed in a different place that night and being like, I don't have to do that ever again.
Yeah.
And
And
that's
it's
a
like your
lot of,
nervous system, like I can finally breathe. You know what I'm saying? I can, my system, I'm calm. Like, pay attention to y'all's body when you deal with like different traumatic situations like that, because your body's going to tell you before your mind registers it. And you're going
mhm,
to feel like your nervous system just a calm. And if you've been in traumatic situations, you're not going to be used to it. It's going to be an unfamiliar feeling, but it's going to be calm. Like you're not going to be anxious, and anxiety doesn't come in forms of like shaking and stuff like that. Sometimes it comes with thoughts. You can't think straight. It's foggy. You can't,
mhm,
you doing stuff, you functioning, but you're not making sense of what you're doing. Like anxiety comes in different ways. But pay attention, your nervous system will tell you. When you get butterflies and stuff, that's your nervous system telling you that something ain't right here. Not that you in love or is happy or whatever. It's your nervous system literally telling you, like, okay, something's off, because you should feel calm. So I'm glad that you made it out. What did that post relationship trauma look like for you personally? So maybe if somebody in the audience that's looking at this can relate and be like, okay, I'm going through this too, and give us like some steps to kind of how you navigating it.
I would say one that is maybe not talked about a lot, or I didn't think I was gonna have to. I honestly didn't think I was gonna have to deal with it because he was so. He's the one that wanted to co-parent for so long.
Yeah.
And so I really was like, okay, this is gonna be great. We're not gonna have problems like we did in
Right.
the relationship. This is
Because
like a
you wanted to
co-parent.
do this.
Like you want to do this, so I'm finally
Right.
agreeing with you. But the court system, the financial abuse, the post separation abuse involves like emotional, physical,
Yeah.
like, but all in a different way. All of a control, an ego, more
Right.
like I'm trying to be involved in your life in a way that's affecting you in a horrible way. And I don't really care about this child. That's where it's coming to me. And that was also a
Yeah.
realization where it was like, it's so dark. It's so dark. And like you said, I wanted to point out, like, heavy on listening to your body. People
Mhm.
don't, I didn't have time to listen to my body during that time. And during a time where I just had a child, and I just spoke
Yeah.
to someone like a couple weeks ago, and they were talking about how it takes like 7 years to fully, like, your body and all of that, all that jumbo to get
Yeah.
back to right. And mine been out of whack since the moment I conceived. So I was like, this, I have to take care of my body. I have, like, I don't know if I said this on here before we got on here, but that mind, body, and soul, I wasn't taking care of
Yeah.
myself. So what that looked like for me, as far as like for court, for people in court, like, emotions are just really
All over.
high. That's what they
Yep.
want. They want it to be high in a really negative way. They want it to be intense. They want you to look bad. They want you to look like the victim. That is the whole point. So that's really hard to come to terms with when you're trying to be a single mom for the first time, and you're trying to go
Right.
back to work, and you're trying. So, like, my things I wish I did earlier was focus more on my sleep, was being more productive with my time. But I also
Right.
give myself grace, because a lot of times you want to be productive, but you're so freaking tired, all you want to do is sleep. All you want to do is maybe mindlessly be on Facebook and just do
Yeah.
nothing. Like, but there are other things that, like, I'm getting back into reading. I got out of journaling, but I've been journaling since third grade. That was something I
Mhm.
love journaling. I love journaling about my dreams. I love journaling
Right.
about things I want from my daughter. I was writing a journal for my daughter, like something I want her to
Oh.
read later. Something
Yeah.
I all like stopped. I all stopped all these things because of this relationship, and just being able to, I think, reflect. I think people need, in some sort of way, if you're not going to journal, you're not a writer, whatever, in some sort of way,
Right.
reflect. Get a book that's, a book that's mostly a book, but has some parts to journal in it, or some prompts or something, but to really reflect on what I had and what I can do,
Right.
what is open to me now, what have I made space for after purging all of these things.
Right.
Because a lot of the post separation abuse will still feed into that life. Like, he was trying
Yeah.
to put a hold on me just as much as he was when we were living together, which is why he was so shocked I left. It was like, what do you mean? What do you mean? Like, we're not even in the same, like, fairy tale, because that's what it was.
Right.
We were both in some fairy tale, but we were in totally opposite sides of it. Like, so I was seeing the light, and he was just,
Yeah.
so that's what it feels like for a lot of people. Between light and dark, pulling between light and dark in a situation. And it's actually a lot easier to pull towards the light. It just
Yep.
seems far away,
And
but
it
it's
seems like that's well, people try to tell you like that's the easier option by
yeah.
leaving. And it's not true. Leaving is the hardest thing that you could possibly do, especially when you love someone and you're kind of tied in that. Leaving is the hardest, but it's the most rewarding when you know your worth and you know you have to get out. Like for
Or
your
you
health,
don't love them and you're just tied by a child.
yeah, that's very, very true. So how do you feel like being a single parent has shaped your strength and identity today?
I guess, like when I said in the beginning, a lot of people don't do things for themselves. It gave
Yeah.
me a new purpose. I was meant to do something, not just, I need to make sure my daughter is smart. I need to make sure that she's able to take care of herself. I need to make sure
Hmm.
these generational cycles, when I think about that, it's a big word. It's a whole ass, like, movement.
It's heavy.
It's
Right.
I was like, I don't want her to grow into poverty. I don't want her to, like, all these things that I had. I don't
Yep.
want. So basically, like, so it was kind of like, so bitch, what you gonna do? What you gonna do
Come
then?
on, Janelle. Like it's up to you. You the only one that can save you
So
and the
being a
baby. So
single mom, not having, and I've talked to other people about, that partnership, that's what
yeah,
really is meant to have. There's meant to be that balance. It was off balance. Being a
right.
single mother is being off balance, and that's not to say that people can't still get their, being off
Yeah.
balance. But it's not, as someone who's a Libra and is about balancing a
Are
balance
you?
scale. Yes. I
Did I know
mean,
that?
I think October 10th. I
Okay,
don't
I'm October
know.
21st.
I think
That's
we
what
talked about
did we
October
talk about? Okay.
birthdays.
Okay.
Um,
This
I'm
is
all
why.
I'm all
Balance,
about balance.
peace, harmony. Like all that is important. That's our foundation. Fairness. Like
Yeah.
that's it. It's the
So I
love,
feel
the
like
simple
just all those
things.
words that you just said, the fact that I went through everything I went through, it was so, and like they were like the opposite of what my beliefs are,
And you can't.
right in front of my
It's just
eyes.
it won't work. It won't work because we're that type of people. And
So
it's nothing, yeah.
I want everyone to realize that. I want everyone to see, oh no, this not, and it's so many people, and I'm talking about role models and celebrities too. There are
Mm-hmm.
people that are not actually living in their true identity. They've gone with whatever they need to do what they need to do.
Yep.
They've been set on a certain scale of the American dream, and that's going to be another episode on the podcast, the American dream versus my dream, because
Yep.
you
It's two
ain't,
different things.
it's totally different, and I'm out. I don't want to be in the American dream
Exactly.
the way
But
you
again,
have.
like you said, it's for the celebrities to lead us because so many people look up to them. That's why I love Cardi B. Now, that'll be a separate episode in itself. But with Cardi, because she a Libra, you know what you're gonna get with Cardi. Like you know she's walking in her purpose, she's true to herself, and you know what you're gonna get. Like at
I
the end of the
resonate
day,
with her and her music.
me too. I love Cardi. And I just even her growth, like from where she started to where she is, I am so proud of her with this her new hair. Have you seen her hair business that's taken off? Yeah, she
Oh
has her
yes,
own
yes, I
hairline
do
now.
know about the hairline. Yes.
You know, she's doing podcasts, morning motivations, and she's even telling people like some days I don't feel like getting up to even take a shower. You know what I'm saying? She's letting people know this is life. This is what it looks like. I can have $1 billion, and that's probably the only difference between us and her. But other than that, like she's human. You know what I'm saying? I'm so proud of Cardi. Like I can talk. I love Cardi. Like I love Cardi. But she just wants
I
love,
love
peace.
resonating with music and other artists, because there are,
Yep.
especially music in particular, like being able to resonate with lyrics and feel like, wow,
You
they know
get
what
it.
I'm talking about and I can do
Yes.
that too. And
Exactly.
that's what I preach to kids all the time. Like you can do what you set your mind to. You can, like, if this
You
is
can do
career day,
anything.
so like why are we not setting that same standard for ourselves as adults, even once we realize we missed the mark?
But I feel like that's like how we're conditioned throughout life. That dream and that spark leaves by the time we're an adult. And that's why I'm so happy you're dealing with the kids because even when I hear about like little kids, kindergartners, third graders, I'm telling the parents, like, don't let that spark leave. Like, no matter what you do, cover that, make sure they still dream big, they're inspired because as you get older, like, it just leaves. It goes from being like a colorful rainbow to gray, like,
Yeah.
meh, like
And
over
that
time.
to come from multiple places, not just one.
Yes.
Definitely from yourself, but if it's not coming from anywhere else, like, so we just like all need to be spread, like, have you, I think of like a garden of like a
Yep.
bunch of stagnant plants and like spraying like a mist of something that we all
So they
have,
can just,
that we all need to be educated on this so we can help
yes,
people. And if you're not going to school, which not everyone can afford school, not everyone needs to go to school, you can do your own
exactly.
research. You can be your own classmate. You can have your
Yep.
own workshop. Like I want to have workshops, like help other people. Like we're all hurt, so now we're all hurting each other.
Yeah. But again, when you get that light and you walk in your purpose, it all clicks. Like you say, you don't need a degree. Yeah, anybody can start a business, but it has to be tied to more than just money. You have to feel like a purpose because some days the money's not going to be there. So you really just got to, but so you really just got to walk in that purpose. But what are some tools and practices that have helped you stay grounded during your healing journey? I know you talked about like journaling, reading, but is there anything else?
Journaling and reading, yoga.
Okay.
Yoga is another one, and dancing and singing. Kenzie loves dancing and singing. That's my daughter's name, and she got that
Yay.
from me. And I realized that was something that I did show her, like when I
Mm-hmm.
was trying to get back in. When we were together, she was only one, like only up to a
Yeah.
year. So I remember just when I was feeling in and out in that dark and that light, singing and dancing was something that was really nice to me. I have one song out with my best friend right now, and
Okay.
more music. We're gonna do some covers, and so like that's something that I've always wanted to do. I love choir. I was a percussionist growing up, so music
Okay.
in general. I think I will just express that like music in my life is something that I feel like is beneficial for everyone, and that no one should feel shy about whatever music they want to create or they like or they want to see. And one thing I
Right.
will I'm so excited to see some of my childhood artists like Hilary Duff and
Mhm.
Demi Lovato coming
You
back
see them
out.
coming back, and then Justin Bieber with the. I said, okay. I
If
said,
you like
I'm
any of
so
them,
proud of y'all.
I want to talk to you. But I have artists that are like coming back out that I really
And it's
love.
nostalgic.
It's
It's like
nostalgia.
it's pulling from your childhood because it
And
was like none of that fluff. Like it was just happiness. Like I even want to
feel
watch
like
Degrassi over again.
that's another important thing to point out, that when you do go back, it's also important to go back and look at the good stuff, because all we
Yes,
are going to do is pull from the really bad stuff. Like, it's also really important to pull from the good parts, and nostalgia so meant to be, I mean, your inner child is nostalgia, is it not?
yes,
Like, so
and I
this,
love it.
yeah.
And like I don't know if I was talking to you about it or maybe one of my clients, but I'm like I want to watch Degrassi again, like the original Degrassi, Jimmy in a wheelchair. You know what I'm saying? That Boy Meets World, like that was nostalgic. That was like the happy moments. You know
Don't get
what
me
I'm
started on Degrassi. No, I
saying? Yes,
thought about it. The only reason, there's a million reasons to watch it, but I was like, dang, that's a lot of seasons. That's a lot.
it's a
Where do
lot
you
of
even
seasons.
start?
A
Where do
lot of
you?
drama, but it was good. You know what I'm saying? Watch your sister, like different things like that is nostalgic. I might go
Mhm.
through a whole like binge
I
watching
had my
old
daughter watching The Sweet Life of Zack and Cody the other day. You know her, when she see a human instead of an animation, she's like, I don't want to watch it. And I'm like, girl, you gonna watch it for 15 minutes. If you don't like it, let me know. And then all of a sudden,
locked
I want
in.
to watch the next episode. Like, girl, because she loves hotels too. And I'm like,
Yeah,
I know that you would like Twins,
living
hotels,
in a hotel. Like
brats.
no, but see, it's the little things. It's literally the little things that matter most. Like I'm happy, but
That's the
anyways,
main thing too. I want to point out, it's little small steps that I made
yeah.
through these years that all like, and I don't know if I spoke about this with you, but the three little pigs. When I think about the three little pigs, I think about it differently now, as the pig being the past, the present, and the future. And it's like I've been
Okay.
trying to build, but just not with the right stuff, not with the right
Materials, right?
material. And then the next time I felt like that present moment was these last couple of years, getting out of that post separation abuse and feeling like, man, the same big bad wolf is coming to blow down my foundation
Yeah,
with the same breath, and I'm still crumbling. What the heck? I gotta
yeah,
start working real hard. I gotta start working in different angles. I gotta start thinking
right.
outside the box. I gotta do bigger than what's been
This is
done.
good because I haven't thought about. And then the final, once you get that additional wisdom, now you build them with bricks.
And then don't forget the past and the present coming with you in that house.
Hmm.
They come in with you in the house to stay there and be protected. And then I just saw the end of it because my daughter watched it the other day. The wolf tried to come in from the top. I was already prepared though, with
Ain't
the
no
heat,
chimney though.
with the
No.
heat. So that's how I think about it. And is happened is like, you're gonna keep, and it's not just I'm gonna keep making mistakes. Your foundation might crumble a couple times,
Yeah,
and that for in itself, people don't want that. People don't expect that. We're not prepared for that. We're not
right.
prepared for that. Oh
That's
wait, what?
bars. I'm
Yeah.
definitely I'm about to tell people about this. The three little pigs. Y'all going we gonna run it back and it's gonna be something much different than what we thought it was.
Yes.
That's facts. GInell, see, this is why you doing the symposium and the workshops. You about to hit it from a different because that's taking something that's childlike for the kids,
That's what I
but
love
interpreting
doing.
it as an adult. So you bringing it together to make it make sense for both.
Kenzie's Corner is basically that. We look at the
Wow.
books, we
Girl.
have some keywords, and we have some discussions, and it's something that most people don't do. When we turn a TV on for a kid, we just let them watch it so I can do something else. When we can
Right.
be having really life lessons with them,
That's wild. Okay.
life-changing
Okay. Okay.
moments, when movies are already supposed to be life-changing anyway. I mean, the person that made it started from a creation of an
Yep.
idea that they want their audience to leave with something, feeling some,
Yep.
or a meaning. That's what I grew up going to film and media arts school. I learned how a script was written, what you had to, how you started it.
Yeah.
So I'm like, people take movies for granted. They just watch it for the actors, they watch it for this and that.
But it
So
be having like meanings, especially when you go back and watch something as an adult. You're like, dang, I missed that whole thing. And it'd be like, it's a story. Like if you really pay attention, there's a purpose behind everything everybody writes.
And you have a book club. I was just thinking, if I had to sum up like
Yep.
all the things I kind of did, it's like all those different arts, the psychological, I worked on that, but music and, you
Yep.
know, the ways I watch things in a different reflecting way, movies, books, TV shows, like
Yeah.
reading things and being like, dang, I didn't see it like that. Or watching another movie and being
Yep.
like, dang, I didn't know it was, but like they don't, these things don't happen by coincidence. And the kid
Right.
movies too, really. I watched Soul recently. Like, come on. There
The
are
kids'
movies.
movies be hold Disney movies, them Disney princesses and stuff, it
uh,
all holds a meaning. Yes.
can go on a whole list and I can't wait to continue. I'm doing so much already, but I can't wait to continue that on my page so that people
Yeah.
have a different perspective on, oh wow, I didn't even know I could talk about that with my daughter when we're watching this movie, like next the same movie we watch every day on Tuesday,
Right. We
you
didn't
know.
watch Encanto like 6 times,
Yeah,
but here's the meaning behind Encanto. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, some questions, comprehension, kids are losing their comprehension skills.
Oh, yes. It's scary. Okay, so you have your symposium coming up. Talk to us about it. I want to promote it. What can people expect from it?
Oh yes, so it's like a docu series. I'm
Okay.
focused on, like I said, generational cycles, that trauma, childhood, and neglect, and how we can move from that RIP framework, the R and the I, recognizing and identifying, and then moving from purging, getting rid of things, and coming to who you are and being at peace with it. So I'm looking for educators. I'm looking for counselors, healers.
Mm.
Like I have midwives. I have like people that do all kinds of holistic, different kind of things where they're
Okay.
honing in on. And this it stems from my podcast. I'm getting people that have. You know, I just spoke with someone yesterday. He came from being in jail and poverty and back and forth between the police brutality and jail system to be like a messiah and be the first person to historically leave the country while they're on parole and stuff like that so they can be. And he was reading Malcolm X. He was reading
Okay.
and reading while he was in prison, realizing all these things. And so there's just people like that that I've been meeting that people need
Yeah.
to know about. I feel like we're the new age of celebrities because we're able
Okay.
to help people get inside themselves instead
Yeah.
of focusing on, man, I want to be pretty like that person, I want to have money like that person. Like, no, I want to
I want to be
be, I
healed
want to
like
be
that person.
healed, I want to help my children in that way. I
Yep.
want, so I'm just trying to attract the voices of people. So I'm, and as someone
I
who
love
loves
it.
documentaries and used to leave documentaries being like, wow, like I can do this, or I want people to
Yep.
leave knowing that they can do simple things like look at a book that has something to do with my soul, or
Yep.
something that or looking at religion and spirit. I have people that are very religious, I have people that are very spiritual, and there's that in between that thing
People
that a
in
lot of
between.
people fight the religion and spirituality, but that's something that is literally part of, like I said, the body, mind, and spirit. So
Hmm.
I'm looking for all types of people that want to host their own episode where we could either talk as a topic together, or you have your own episode. And it's very much like what you envision, but
I
together
love it.
it's about helping the kids and getting that documentary out. And I'm hoping that it'll be something that the people can have and we can post, and hopefully I want to put it up for like actual festivals and stuff. So you know,
Okay.
I'm dreaming way bigger, but right
Big.
now I'm trying to find 10 guest stars. And
Okay.
you know, it's something that I'm really excited to do because director has always been on my little dream list, my little.
Girl, you knocking everything out. I'm so happy that we met so I can sit here and watch this growth and watch your journey because you're doing a lot of great
You
things.
too. I'm so
Very
glad you
talented. Girl,
had
I'm
a.
talking about you. I'm talking about you. Very talented. You have a lot of knowledge to offer. And again, you're not even just healing the adults, you going back to childhood. And that's important. Like that is so, so important. So you doing it. And I'm happy that I get to be here and witness. So for people who want to reach out to you, in regards to everything that you're doing, or if they need tips about like motherhood, the education system, anything, how can they reach you?
My email is missGinell10@gmail.com.
Mhm.
Facebook, LinkedIn is Miss GInell. What do I have? I have TikTok. You gonna help me with my TikTok right now? That's a
Yeah, I
little
got you.
it because I only got on it for the first time as my business. So I was not a TikTok fan, but you said you're a
I
TikTok
love
god.
TikTok. I
TikTok
love
god.
TikTok.
And my YouTube comments,
Okay.
I'm gonna start posting more on there and starting a community on there because I'm also not used to like how people create communities on YouTube. Like it's similar to Facebook and stuff and navigating.
Yeah,
But I'm
me
on
too. So
yeah.
let me know. I'm gonna help you. I'm doing an interview with someone, and she specializes in YouTube SEOs and all that stuff. So whatever I learn, I'll let you know. Because you can collaborate and do like shorts and stuff in there. I'm like, I didn't know you could do that. So we're gonna be
So I'm
learning
learning.
together.
We're learning. We're doing a lot of learning and clacking away. So I'm working.
Yeah,
But yes, I love when people DM me. I'm getting messages just like, "Thank you for doing what you do. Like, how can I
seriously.
help them?" And so that's just great because I want a big group of people to, so it gets bigger and bigger and bigger, and we can help everyone.
Yeah.
Like fast as we can do it. It's about helping other people, and I don't want people to feel like they're in a doggy dog world and it's just them to themselves. Like we're
No,
all
it's like
supposed
a
to be,
community.
we all have gifts. We're all
Yep.
supposed to be able to help each other in different ways. And if we're all being stingy
Exactly.
or we're all being in the house because we're not processing our own feelings, that's not
Mhm.
beneficial to society. And I would
Okay.
like to not live in dystopia.
We just want to be happy, y'all. We're
Yeah, come on.
balanced, balanced. And then as you're speaking, like I have people come into mind, but we can talk about that after. That I would send you again, just so we can build the community, and they're local too. So I think that
Yes,
might
I was
really
gonna
help.
say you're local too. I'm trying to find some places to do some public speaking workshops because I've got kind
Yeah.
of my lesson plan out. I'm actually next week doing like a cute little care for my hair mini lesson,
Oh,
focusing on braiding with the mind, body, and spirit.
okay.
And just being like, what do I want for myself? And this is for like girls going into middle school. What do I want for
Okay.
myself in middle school? How do I take care of myself now? How am I not taking care of myself
I
now?
want to cry, girl, because you are doing it. Like, this is the
They
work.
need
This is
it.
so important. Like,
Yeah.
y'all, what GInell is doing is groundbreaking. And then GInell spelled GINELL too for
Yes,
y'all.
I
It's not
do.
spelled. So
I
when
do
y'all
get
look
a
her up,
lot of different spellings, and that
yep.
name means God's gift, God's gracious gift, or something.
Amen. And you
Yeah.
are a gift to this world. So I'm again glad that I know you. All Janelle's information is going to be below. But as always, if you want to come on the show, please reach out to me. I'll have that information below. Again, the show is about us just chatting, getting whatever out. Because as we talk about stuff, we heal ourselves, but we also help heal others too. So that's it. And have another great Wednesday. All right.
Bye,
Bye, guys.
Victoria.
Okay. That was amazing.